Hey everybody, I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not Seth Worley. But we are best friends. You may have seen me fall or get hit with a rock or yelled at or shot or something in one of his films. For this FTX, we wanted to mimic the visual effects from Ant-Man. For this shot, I started by adding a flare using Red Giant's No Light Factory. Then I made a mask around the door and keyframed the movements to make the flare coming from inside the elevator. On the other side, I made another mask on the wall and feathered it quite a bit. Next, I downloaded a Trapcode Particular preset made by Seth Worley called Volcaniac that you can find on Red Giant People. I just resized it and turned down the particles per second, and then changed the color to this bluish gray to match the lens flare. So that nobody got arrested again, we made sure at least one of the guns had an orange tip. And then we had to take the tips out in post. I just made a mask around anything orange and keyframed it every couple of frames. Then using Red Giant's Colorista, I desaturated anything orange, and then pulled the orange into the black, and it turned out pretty cool. To copy my favorite shot in Ant-Man, we put a treadmill in front of a green screen and watched our actor sprint for about 10 minutes straight. Then I made a mask around the green screen, horizontally flipped our shot, and then keyed out the green using Red Giant's Primac keyer. The autocomputer is great, I just had to clean up the foreground and background a little bit. Just scaled down our keyed shot and motion tracked it to the movement of the gun. I created a small rack focus using fast blur on both layers. And then I made a mask around the gun to hide that his feet are cut off. And then of course take out that orange tip again. Then I added a small flare using Overlight from Red Giant Universe. Then added some camera shake and created a zoom. You guys can like take hits and stuff really well, and you're basically gonna have to pretend to be beat up by like a little tiny person. You see what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
Awesome, dude, that was nice. Our stuntman just pretended to get hit by nothing. I grabbed this little Ant-Man screenshot and then scaled it down and just animated it to jump around and hit them in the face a few times. And then got rid of that orange tip one more time. Finally, after I had beaten up our stunt guys enough times, I had our actor Angel just jump into the shot, giving him one more intense workout for the day, and then I just put the two shots together. Then I took a quick screenshot of Angel jumping, did a simple mask, and then made him scale up about 5 or 6 frames. To get that cool ghost trail effect, I duplicated that small screenshot a few times, made each one a little bigger than the last, then I changed the blending mode of all of them to screen, and then made them all slowly fade out by keyframing the opacity. To make everything much cooler and to cover up all my cuts, I just added the same big flare from the elevator, and then I made it brightest right where the cut is. For this shot, I just found a picture of downtown LA for the background. Then I made a rough mask around the window, keyframed the edge feather to go along with the rack focus. Then I made a mask around Ant-Man, feathered it quite a bit, and then added Red Giant's light wrap. Then finally I added a flare bouncing off the building to tie the whole thing together. For this very unrealistic shot, there's a whole lot going on. Here's our original background shot. I added a different view of the city behind the buildings just using a mask, and I masked out that window for when Ant-Man jumps through it. Next we had our stuntman Jace give me a few jumps, and then I made a mask around him and keyframed it frame by frame for what felt like an eternity. To create the ghost trails, we just did the same effect from earlier. And to make the glass break, I used this 3D window from Video Copilot's Element 3D. And then for another decade, I animated the glass falling. And then I just copied over the same flare. To create the flying ant, I just found an image of a dragonfly and animated it similar to how we did the tiny Ant-Man before, and then just keyframed puppet points on the wings to make them flap. And then I finished it by creating rack focuses using fast blur on an adjustment layer. For this shot, I just animated the bug, and then to make the car go fast, I just made a mask around it and keyframed it myself. For this shot, I just grabbed a random interior from a car and masked the dash and the steering wheel. I added a slight glare to the windshield and added a zoom blur to the background to make it look like it's going fast. The blood splat that I used is from Video Copilot's Action Essentials. Then I just messed with the hue and saturation to turn it into bug guts as opposed to people guts. Then I added the windshield wiper and keyframed the rotation. And then I added a dirty glass texture and made it clear up using a mask as the windshield wiper wiped by. To make that streak effect, I just keyframed liquefy on the blood splat layer and had it follow the windshield wiper. And then for continuity, we just flipped the shot. And then I colored everything using Magic Bullet Looks and Mojo. My name is Cameron Childs. Thanks for checking out these effects.